So I think that technologies that VMware provides, like Workspace ONE, provide that very easy on ramp to be connected to the mothership, as it were, and to your coworkers. And so the next question I'd like to put to the panel is, so after you get this connection established, right, and they can work remotely, how do you engage with a workforce that traditionally or non-traditionally has had to work remotely? I've seen some getting calls from vendors who are saying, hey, we're getting a lot of requests, not just for the tools, but from the managers and the executives, like, how do I lead my organization through this network connection? I've never had to do it before. Do you have any like change management or coaching or anything that so I don't look like I'm flailing around out there? And so I'm hearing things like that. How do we engage now? What do we do differently?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll start off with some thoughts. So last Monday, we went to all classes from University of Nebraska Medical Center were delivered online, and a big component of how we were able to do that was standing up kind of strategies and support for professors who had not adopted digital technologies yet, to start to look at, okay, this is how you run a lab, this is how you engage your students, this is how you design digital curriculum that basically produces better results than the analog approaches. So we did have that components, and we actually stood that up on the same websites we used for tips and tricks on how to install Workspace ONE and everything else as part of this. Now it's evolved to here's strategies on how to teach a course, here's strategies on how to run a meeting, here's how you do a drive-by in a virtual community. So we're using Microsoft Teams as an application. They have a video channel, and we're using that as kind of a drive-by. So which is probably one of the most productive sessions is the water cooler. How do you do that when you're all working remote? So we're doing those from kind of a knowledge base, and then we're also trying to model best practices through our project management office and things like that.
And so, Christopher, again, what are you guys seeing in terms of how do we do this adaptation? How do we engage, ensure that when everyone suddenly goes remote, which is what happened this year, that we have continuity, not just in connection, but in employee engagement and workforce being effective and productive?
Yeah, and I think I'll echo what the other panelists said. The collaboration tools are critically important. I mean, one of the things, even if you're in the office, it's good to fire up a collaboration tool to be able to work with your peers or connect with your peers, even though they may only be a couple of buildings down, a couple doors down. I think that starts to change the culture of the organization to be much more comfortable with the collaboration tools that are available. So just the extensive use of those collaboration tools. And I think it's critically important that we stay connected as human beings at the end of the day. So even though we're not in the same location, we still need to have a conversation. I pick up the phone and I video FaceTime with each one of my employees almost on a daily basis just to check in and see how they're doing, just to understand what their needs are, making sure that they're taking care of their family, right? So we're humanizing the technology to be used between us as individuals, and that only enhances that for the greater good, right? So I think a heavy use of the collaboration tools, even when you're in the office, and then just staying in constant contact. And it's the same idea if you ever led in a matrixed organization. You may not have full control of an individual. How do you get that person to do that work? You got to make I'm not going to say a carrot and stick type of mentality, but what's the greater good? What's the mission of the organization? And what are we trying to achieve, right? When everybody's bought into that, they'll adapt to those tools pretty seamlessly to work wherever they are in the globe.